The ability to swap out die sets is one of the key features of manually loaded machines, allowing use of a variety of different eyelet sizes. The procedure is actually pretty easy. I like to begin by making the die set completely accessible. Begin by loosening the hex key screw securing the left side of the material tray. Loosen and remove the spacer bar holding the other side, and the tray can be removed. Next, use the puncher tool provided with the machine to loosen the bottom die from the die holder. Continue to loosen and remove the bottom die. Now loosen the set screw on the front of the machine frame, which is securing the bottom die holder. Move the bottom die holder down as shown. Stop in the position shown here if your new bottom die fits in the same holder. In this video, we will be changing die sets from number 2 to number 5. This requires a change of die holder. As you can see here, the inner diameters of die holders are different. So we proceed to removing the holder from the machine. Moving on, we now remove the safety cover on the front of the machine to provide easy access to the top die and punch assembly. Use the puncher tool to loosen the locking collar on the top die assembly, and proceed to loosen and remove this assembly. The top die is threaded into an adapter which will be reused along with the locking collar. Use a wrench and the puncher tool to disassemble. Thread the replacement top die into the adapter and collar assembly, tightening the die into the collar with a wrench and puncher. With the collar positioned as shown, carefully thread the assembly all the way up into the machine. This assembly should remain hand tight for now. Choose the correct bottom die adapter for the number 5 die to be installed in the machine. Thread the adapter up into the frame of the machine, stopping just above the frame as shown. And use a hex key to tighten the set screw securing the die holder. Next, thread the number 5 bottom die into place and tighten with the puncher. Reinstall the safety guard on the machine. And also reinstall the material tray. Now it's time to adjust the machine to cut a hole for eyelet installation. CARR machines do not require expensive self-piercing eyelets. Loosen the set screw on the front of the machine. Activate the machine trigger, holding it down while moving the bottom die upward. Keep moving the bottom die until you feel resistance. At this point, the blade on the bottom die is touching the punch in the upper die. Now move the bottom die down by 3 full turns of the die holder. This places the bottom die away from the punch from where we will raise it in steps to make a cut in the material. Release the trigger, take a piece of test material and cycle the machine. We aren't yet close to cutting a hole. Move the die upward 1/2 turn and cycle the machine again. Still, we aren't close to cutting a hole. Move the die upward another 1/2 turn and cycle again. We now have an indentation in the material, which means we are getting close to the right setting. Move the die upward an 1/8 turn and cycle. After a few cycles, we have a hole. Now lock the bottom die in position with the set screw on the front of the machine. At this point, the top die is still in its uppermost position. This means it would not close an eyelet setting when cycled. You can see there is quite a bit of space here. Air is shut off to the machine at the moment, making it completely safe to have fingers in the die area. Even with the air on, the safety guard would prevent any danger. Turn the top die down to close the gap seen between it and the bottom die. With air back on, cycle the machine and observe whether further adjustment of the top die is necessary. In this case, it looks good. It is now necessary to lock the position of the top die. To do so, remove the safety guard, hold the top die in position, move the locking collar up, and tighten it with the puncher. Replace the safety guard, turn on the air, and you are ready to make a test setting. And we have a perfect result.